We do like to use the Environmental Control Center. Now, the really awesome part about the Environmental Control Center is on the back of it here, you can see, it does control. Welcome to the Tye-Dyed Iguana, guys. Today, I am going to show you guys some easy ways to make sure you take care of your animals and make your life a little bit easier. So first, if you're tired of just misting all the time and spraying down that cage and getting all cramped up, we're gonna have our monsoon misting systems. Now, we do have two different sizes in stock. We have one that can run up to 6 nozzles, one that runs up to 2. So depending on the size enclosure, has a built-in timer, so it will mist for you when you don't feel like it. So if you're not home all the time, things like that, you're worried about your cage being a little dry, that will definitely help you out, especially for some of those species that likes to drink from water droplets, things like crested geckos, chameleons, things like that. The next item I have over here is gonna be our Reptile. Now, the Reptile, the nice part about it is it will actually help keep that humidity up. Makes a nice dense fog. You can kind of adjust that as need be, but it will actually help you just keep that humidity higher in there for a lot of those really high humidity needing species. Or you can just turn it down and make it a little bit better for, even a ball python, something like that. I used to use one of these on some chameleons I had that needed some higher humidity. We used some on our green tree pythons. They work really well. If you want to have it in a few different places, especially with one of your larger tanks, this is a divider that's actually going to spread that out so it doesn't just come in one place. You can actually humidify the whole tank. There is another option as well to make this thing work a little bit better, and I'm going to hit on that in a moment. Speaking of humidity first, since we're right here, I have the Humidity Plus silicone cover. So if you're worried about humidity coming out of that screen top, ZooMed actually came out with these really awesome humidity covers that just kind of block up that screen. They're a nice silicone. They are heat resistant. Obviously, you don't want to probably put a heat bulb directly on it. They are cut 16 to 16 inches, so they'll cover up like an 18 by 18 cage, no problem. If you have a smaller cage, you can easily cut them. If you have a bigger cage, you can easily use multiple. But these are definitely a great option just to kind of add in there, just kind of help keep that humidity in. In the way of keeping that humidity up, like I just mentioned with the fogger, we do like to use the Environmental Control Center. Now, the really awesome part about the Environmental Control Center is on the back of it here, you can see, it does control humidity. So you can plug in that fogger. If your humidity gets too low, it will automatically kick that off and on for you to keep that humidity right where you need it to. It does have 2 built-in thermostats. One of them is a dimmable thermostat, so whether you're using a ceramic heat emitter, heating pad, things like that. And then the other one is kind of an off-on heating. You can actually run it with a cooling device if you want to. So if you want to hook some fans up there to exhaust it, or add in another heat source. Up here it does have a standard timer. It also has a day timer and a night timer. The timers definitely come in handy, especially with trying to keep those animals at an exact circadian rhythm, making sure that they have an exact daytime, nighttime, and all of that so they don't get messed up. While we were talking about that unit though, right here I do have our digital thermostat. So if you are having issues with keeping temperature, if your temps change between the summer, the winter, things like that, get yourself a thermostat, plug in a ceramic heat emitter, a deep infrared heat bulb, something like those. Those are gonna help kind of keep the animal warm. The thermostat's gonna help it just regulate with the temperature that's currently in the tank and make sure everything's sitting there precise for you. Since we were just talking about the Environmental Control Center and everything it can do, and then breaking it down into the thermostat, over here we do have some timers that work really well for you. I would recommend a timer, again, just to keep everything in line. Whether you go with an analog timer, we have the digital timers, or over here we do have one that has 4 built-in timers and then 4 power strips for you. That way you can actually plug multiple things in, whether you're running it on a paludarium where the pump's running all the time, and then you can have your lighting on timers, things like that. All of the timers can also be used on things like aquarium, which people don't think about on how long they leave their lights on. They just leave it on. Sometimes leaving the light on an aquarium, that's where you're gonna get most of your algae. If you're running some high intense LED lighting, you really only want about 6 hours of light. So running a timer on there just to make sure that stays straight is really good for you. All right, guys, so the last thing I'm gonna show you that's really gonna help you out is our sand scooper. Now, the sand scoopers work amazing for any of your desert species, really. So you can sift through that loose substrate and get out any poop. That way you're not even there touching it with your hand, trying to get paper towels. You literally just scoop, shake, and then dump it out. A great option that I definitely recommend, nice little poop scooper. So That's going to be it for some things for you guys to check out to make your life a little bit easier and make your animals a little bit healthier. So if you have any questions, definitely shoot us a message and we can help you guys out.